Welcome back to the Kaleidosphere, a Dungeons & Dragons Play Podcast. I'm your Dungeon Master, Nathan. Joining me are Grant.
Zachariah Harros, student of small talk.
Cody.
Toothless Jack Rackman.
Pippin.
Moriarty, I'm not really that dumb.
Jonathan.
Hudson Swift, no relation to Mudson Slow.
And Alex.
Klakkr Volkson, teacher of small talk.
Teacher. Join us on episode 13 of our first campaign, To Whom the Sea Belongs. Let's start with kind of the overview of what Zachariah would learn regarding mind flayers, and then we will move to the rest of the party. I believe the plan was for you to go to Fungal Crags, but you can change that if you want to.
What about what happened last time?
What?
You can do a recap?
Oh, yeah. Last time on To Whom the Sea Belongs, the party woke up in the riverbed. They had their breakfast with the bartender's daughter, who quickly got annoyed at Zachariah, and that led to Klakkr trying to teach Zachariah all the small talk to clinically correct results, I guess. Then you all decided to head to Heidi's Herbs to try to find some tea and some, both meanings of the word of tea. You were waylaid by a news reporter, a West Anakin news reporter named Craig, and then you found the burned remains of the City Watch, spoke with Leon, who flirted unsuccessfully with Zachariah, and then you all went to Heidi's Herbs, got some herbs, had some charming interactions with her, and went to Crackle's information repository. Zachariah stayed behind to spend a few hours researching mind flayers, while the rest of the party went off to go to Fungal Crags and or other locations they haven't decided upon yet. So Zachariah, Grant, how much do you know of mind flayers? Yeah. I'm assuming quite a bit.
Grant?
Yes.
Who's Grant? Is this book speaking to me? Is this one of those talking books?
God is asking one of the demigods.
I know a lot about mind flayers.
Okay. Do you, aside from their 5th edition stats, do you know how they reproduce?
No, I don't off the top of my head.
Okay. Do you know how they, or do you know their form of written communication with one another?
Written? No.
Okay. I think those are
I don't know that much, apparently, so.
What do you know about mind flayers?
I know about the Elder Brain.
Okay.
I know that they have psionic abilities. I know that they are multiversal, space-faring, traveler, whatever. I know they eat brains, right? They literally eat brains?
Correct.
And I think their main gig is domination over everything.
So Zachariah's safe from the brain eating thing?
I think they devour intellect, so to speak. I would actually be a very tasty... Hudson, how are you here?
Okay, so Zachariah learns everything that you just recounted, Grant, with the addendum that in the world of Nera Ohan, mind flayers are almost universally aquatic beings. They're also interstellar beings, but mind flayers in Nera Ohan are amphibious. They can breathe air or water.
Okay.
That is unique to this setting. I've played into the octopus theme a little bit more than traditional D&D does.
I fucking love that. That's... right? I love it.
Yeah. Additionally, I think that I'll say, given that you, Grant, don't actually know this, it'll be fun. Zachariah comes across a couple conflicting passages about theories on how they reproduce or how they pass written history, whether it's an oral tradition or a written tradition of some variety. There are some conflicting scholarly opinions on that. The general consensus is that they do not reproduce in the same way that most animals do. It's not a form of sexual reproduction. And as for written communication, there is no clear... There are no documented examples of mind flare writing or historical annals that any historians or archaeologists have found. At least none that the writers of the history books in Crackle's information repository are aware of. So there are theories and speculations, but that is all regarding reproduction and writing.
That's very interesting. What's the most recent, documented run-in with them?
So the World Storm, Zachariah would know this already, but the World Storm is said to have featured a massive mind flayer deity, or avatar of a deity, named Cthulhu, who wreaked havoc on Narrowhan. And in the years following the World Storm, there were isolated sightings of mind flayers as the remnants of the mind flayer army were snuffed out by civilization that was trying to rebuild. Most recent documented sighting is circa 200 years ago, maybe 230 years ago.
Wow. Okay. And then I guess finally, sorry if I'm asking too many questions here. I guess I don't know how to ask. Would I know any reason why they would be back? Like, do I know why they'd be, you know what I mean? Like on land and fucking around and so on and so forth?
That obviously would not be in writing. I'm not going to give you any, inferences one way or another. Zachariah can kind of form his own opinions on. And we're going to say, all of that research, Crackle is willing to help you, as long as you're not mean to Raven.
My Raven?
Yes.
I don't get any help then.
Okay, so we're going to say this takes you, the better part of the day to find all of this information.
Can I, while I'm there, understanding I've pushed my time, can I look for anything on necromancy?
Yeah, I mean, as you're going over all of this information on mind flayers, you might find a couple anecdotes on other types of magic, but specifically necromancy, anything in depth, trying to find new spells or anything like that would take more more dedicated research. I would say here's what you can find. You can find what do they call it? Primary resources written by various arcane scholars from 2 or 3 generations ago about different ethical practices of necromancy.
Okay.
Different types of documented necromantic magics used in various major civilizations such as Tlatziciotl, Masara, and probably Arcathians and West Danica. I think those are the 4 you would find.
Got it. Did you say the World Storm was 200 years ago or 250 years ago?
The World Storm was 255 years ago.
Okay.
So the fallout, kind of the aftermath and the various parties that were still warring with one another after the World Storm would have mentioned run-ins with mind flayers up until 230, 225 years ago.
Okay. I would thank Crackle and then be on my way.
He says good riddance, and then Raven says good riddance, and then they say good riddance at each other.
Oh my god.
So it's evening by the time Zachariah leaves, so let's flip back over to the rest of the party. Whether you stay all together or split up, that's up for you to decide. We can do 5 mini sessions like we did in episode 1, but the original plan was for you all to go to Fungal Crags, but you can change that if you desire.
Change it to Fun Time Crabs.
I see no reason to change where we're going.
Alright, so you head back through West River District, the nicer neighborhood, back across the bridge that spans the river, back through Cliffs Bay District, and up to the north of this particular neighborhood, the smaller neighborhood. So you've actually overshot the riverbed and gone further north toward the northern edge of this colony to where the Fungal Crags are, which is a complex of towers that look pretty obviously arcane. They're playing into the tropes that you think of when you think arcane tower. Some of them are built directly into the cliff because this part of Cliffs Bay has 2 sort of tiers of cliffs. There's the cliffs that go straight down into the bay itself, and then there's cliffs that go higher up into the mainland. Immediately to your east, there's also a beach with a large pier going out deeper into the water so larger ships can dock, but you see some civilians having leisure activities on the beach. There's some form of fantasy volleyball games going on. There's people that are windsurfing and such on the waves. I guess all that to say, there clearly is trouble brewing in Cliffs Bay, but there are also people just out living their lives as well. In Cliffs Bay, or not Cliffs Bay, the whole place is Cliffs Bay. In the Fungal Crags, let's see, go.
Would you like to withdraw some money, Mr. Potter?
Oh man, I'm so mad I'm not here. This looks awesome.
Almost
Yeah.
like Zachariah was speaking to us right then.
Sorry, I'm just tabbing over through all of this information. Give me a second.
You've really grown close to him since your cuddle. You can even hear his voice in your head.
I think that's because he's a practicer of dark and evil magic.
I mean, evil.
But one would make the point that since you're the only one that hears his voice, you're obsessed with him in a way.
No one else can hear the voice in their head.
Yar, when I hear the voice in me head, it's me own.
So you walk into the Fungal Crags common area, similarly to the riverbed complex. Because there are several different spires, there's like a central courtyard, but this one is gated off. But the gate is currently open for you all because, remember, this is all like during Zachariah's research, so it's just slightly afternoon at this point. Let's call it 1 o'clock at this point. And there's a like reception desk with a Genasi female with blue skin and white hair, lounging and kind of reading a book. She glances up at you and nods, but doesn't really like say anything unless you go over to talk to her. Otherwise, this particular like spire that you found yourself in appears to be like basically a library.
Another library, mate.
Another library.
What have we gotten ourselves into?
Well then, we're in another library.
I wonder how they're doing right now.
Madam,
Hudson, looks around and then just, sighs. And then he reaches into his left boot and pulls out another small flask.
Hello there. My name's Azure. Can I help you with something?
well, so is this like a research library open to all, or is there a fee or what?
Yeah, it's open to all. You can't take books out of here. We're not one of those take-home libraries like they have back in the mainland with Stanica. But
Fair.
yeah, you can look through anything. If you're the magical practitioners yourself, go back outside across the courtyard to the widest tower that it's like got the biggest diameter, and it's carved out of the cliff itself. That's the one where they have all the training and instructors to help you practice your spells and such. Yeah, if you're looking for a particular topic, I guess I can direct you, but otherwise, there's labels on the shelves. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Alright. What were we here for again? He wanted a research magic, but he's not here. So I guess we're looking up the other things. Where would your books be about monstrous races? Humanoids and whatnots?
Second floor, over, and she kind of gestures like, it's like you would see in, like, Game of Thrones or something, it's got like or Game of Thrones or Beauty and the Beast, it's got the balcony with more books, but from each floor you can look down and see the other floors. And so she gestures to like the second balcony over in one corner and says, yeah, all the monster books are over there. We've got some copies of writings from Volo.
Alright, I think we'll be over there.
Be there any books about the history of Pingerhow, kind madam?
Oh sure, yeah, history's on the first floor, just straight across from me there.
I thank you, much obliged.
Oh, certainly.
So yeah, I think Hudson would head to the history of Pingerhow and see if maybe he can figure anything out.
Do you guys remember what those other group was that with the Wayfinder or something? You know, the guys who made your sword. Maybe we should look them up while we're at it.
You mean ours? My sword.
Oh, it's my fucking sword. I found it first.
Aye, but you've already got your fishing pole.
I'll beat your ass with my fishing pole.
Aye, that's why you don't need the sword.
I could use it to cut the fish.
You can take me old cutlass for that.
I'm sorry, was there a question in there for me, or are you two just having a lover's quarrel?
No, I can't recall the name of the actual people. What are they, the Wayfinders?
Yeah, that's correct.
Do you have any books on the Wayfinders?
Yeah, we got books on the Wayfinders, if you can find your way. Right over there, that same, we got history records of them too. What's so funny, mate?
The whole find your way, Wayfinders.
Oh, well thanks, I try. Most people don't appreciate my humor.
I think it'd be pretty good.
Well thanks.
Also, do you have any, collection of periodicals about what's been happening in Cliffs Bay?
No, we don't have magazines in Cliffs Bay, at least none that are, publicly circulated. We do have magazines imported from West Annika if you're a fan of Tea and Honey Quarterly or what was the name of the like Playboy mag? The
Exotic Fishes.
Exotic Fish. Are you a fan? Thank you. Yeah, if you're a fan of Tea and Honey Quarterly or Exotic Fishes, those are over there on the 3rd floor.
I do like exotic fishes, but wasn't exactly what I'm looking for.
So I think Hudson would go over to the history of Pingerhouse section right now.
All right. Jack and Klakkr, are you two invested in this like library escapade at all, or did you two want to like try to find something else?
I'm trying to remember, was this the place where that guy told me that, or that guy? Yeah. Who told me that I could find a dentist here? Trying to remember that.
Honestly have no memory of mentioning a dentist.
You said there was a priest, there was Heidi, and she obviously isn't probably dead.
Right.
I don't know, I'm having a vague memory on it.
And then somebody at the crags. I kind of remember something like that.
Yeah, let's see.
I want to find somewhere to grind down my tooth still.
Grind on your tooth? Is that what they're calling it these days?
Grind down my tooth like the saber tooth.
No, I know. It just sounded...
Oh, well.
Maybe you can find a place that sells a more industrial mortar and pedestal for grinding it down for...
Right.
I think I need to find like a blacksmith.
Yeah, the fungal crags was the one with like arcane treatment. So, yeah, you're right, Jack.
Well, this be kind of a personal question, but do you have a dentist around here?
A dentist?
It's kind of a personal question.
I don't... If that's supposed to be personal somehow, I'm not really picking up on your implication there.
Well,
like, is that...
I give her like a big smile and open my mouth, and I'm like,
oh, dear Lord on high.
Holy shit, it's like a secret tunnel from one cheek to the other.
My God.
Yes, yeah, I mean...
tunnel.
Let's see, yeah, if you go to the healer's tower, it's on the southern end of the courtyard. They'll be able to help you out.
Thank you very much.
You there, Mr. Orcafolk?
Oh, hey there, how you doing?
Moriarty, are you still here, or have you gone over to look for,
I was waiting around until we all, definitively decided they were, find out what we're doing. That way, I don't come downstairs and they're just all gone, and it's like, oh, well, that happened.
Anything I can do for you, Orcafolk?
Now, do you know anywhere where I could grind down a saber-tooth fang?
I think we could work something out with, a couple cantrips here.
Oh, really? Okay, well, why don't we try that then?
Sure. Go to, follow your friend, the Grinner, over to the, what did I call it? The healing tower. They should be able to do kind of the same thing. I mean, they know mending, so they've got to know something that unmends, right?
Oh, yeah, that's probably true. Okay, yeah, thank you.
I mean, I just know water magic, so, I mean, it would take a very long time, but I could find a crack and, drip water in and then freeze it and then repeat that over and over, but that's not very cost-effective.
I think I'll just go over and follow him. Maybe they'll know something up there.
Right, then.
And I'll, make my way.
Yeah, anything else I can do for you? You were asking about the Wayfinders, sir? What was your name?
Oh, the name's Moriarty. No, I was just finding out where my friends were going before I go and start looking. Oh, but, yes, I was looking, wondering if you know if there was any interactions with the Wayfinders and Pingerhouse from back in the day.
The Wayfinders used to travel all over. I haven't done much reading on them myself. I'm no expert, but... Oh,
okay.
Wouldn't be surprised if they've been around here.
Alright, well then, thank you for your time, Miss, Zero.
Oh, certainly. Your boyfriend over there, how long have the two of you been, together?
Which one are you talking about? Secret Tunnel, Orcafolk, or the other boy? I mean, I'm not really dating anyone, but I'm just curious to see who you think I'm paired up with.
I was under the distinct impression that you and the other boy over there reading the history, I thought you two had a thing going.
Oh, no, can't say so.
Oh, all right. Well, you wouldn't mind if I made a move then?
No, I'll go right ahead. These are yours.
Hudson, like, you can see Hudson in the background, and he's reading a book upside down.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's, like, staring with, like, his tongue out. And he's, like, looking really into, and then he, like, flips it and then nods, and then he pulls that same flask out of his boot and takes another little sip.
Oh, he's charming.
He's all yours, Lev. All yours. And Moriarty is just going to be laughing to himself as he walks towards the Wayfinder section.
Can we clarify? Did you say I'm not dicking anyone? Is that the words that came out of your mouth?
No, but if that's what people heard, I could say that. And if I'm not dicking any of them, but
What did you say?
I don't remember. I'm not dating any of them.
Dating. Okay.
But in a true pirate fashion, I'm not dicking any of them. No, madam. You can have your way with them.
That's what I heard. So
maybe it's because you're still thinking of Funtime Crab.
That's how you get them.
are you not?
In the healing tower, Klakkr, you are able to find someone. He's a dwarf. His name is escaping me. I actually have like stats for him.
You can fight him!
Vonrig. His name is Vonrig. He is a dwarf that is specializes in like earth-related magic, and so he's good at tremors and such, and he's able to help you grind down your tooth.
Oh, great. Okay, so I want it ground down to just the bigger end of it, about halfway down, so I still have the sharp end of it intact.
Oh, right then. That makes sense, yes. He does that whole thing. Meanwhile, Jack, you can speak with I don't know what to call a magic doctor that's not like, an actual dentist. A healer, I guess. You can speak with a healer.
Arr.
What can I do for you, sir?
Well, Doc, I've not been feeling great, and I fell down the stairs last night, and I woke up and all of my teeth started falling out.
Well, all right. Let's have a look, shall we? This is like a halfling woman, spectacles like down on the end of her nose. Wow, I've honestly never seen something quite like that. That's so weird. You're a human, right?
Yeah.
Look like a human.
I be a human.
When you were 6 to 8 years old, did you lose a lot of your teeth?
Well, yeah, of course. Doesn't that happen to everyone?
It happens to every human. It happens to a lot of other species too. I just wanted to be sure that already happened, because you see, and she like pulls out a diagram, or she uses prestidigitation to project a diagram onto the wall.
All right.
You see, humans have their infant teeth and their adult teeth, which their adult teeth slowly push out, but after that, there's no other teeth. So they would need like a gold tooth or something if they lost one.
Sure.
You have little, it looks like there's new teeth growing in where your gums are, where you've lost your back molars. But the thing is, they're sharp instead of like molars.
Okay. Well, that's a new one by me.
It's a new one by me too. I mean, I've lived some 70 years. I've never seen anything quite like that.
Well, I did just get struck by a strange lightning bolt in a vortex at sea.
Well, strange lightning bolts coming from vortices in the sea certainly don't bode well for normal lives, do they?
I suppose not.
I mean, most people live without ever getting struck by a lightning bolt, so it makes sense that you're an anomaly.
Do you think I'm going to start growing spines like an anemone?
No, I misspoke. I think you're fine. I mean, not fine. That's not the right word. You're clearly not fine. Something is deadly wrong with you. I'm sorry. My bedside manner is not the best.
What a doctor.
Does it hurt?
No. That's part of what concerns me so much.
Well, the magic is infinite in its potential, That's one of the laws of Socratadian the Great.
Right. I'm a big fan.
Yes. Magic is infinite in its potential, and so when you get involved with it, truly anything can happen. And of course there are, like, rules and mental disciplines we use to train ourselves and the like, but there's so little we really understand, and so my best advice is, as long as it doesn't hurt, don't worry about it.
How can I not worry about it? Are you just a tooth specialist, or do you know other stuff? Because my eyes...
No.
There's something wrong with my eyes also.
Really? Okay, I can take a look at that. I'm not really a specialist in anything. Like, I just do some healing. I'm not a tooth specialist. We don't have a tooth specialist.
I don't believe you.
And then Von Rick the Dwarf says, well, there you go. I just finished grinding down your whole tooth. Should be nice and powdery now.
Oh, great. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much.
And here's the sharp tip there for you.
Oh, thank you so much. And I put the sharp end of it in my blowhole with the tip pointing out.
Terrible.
That's just... Oh, my brain hurts.
Okay.
So, I mean, I guess that's like a belly button piercing, kind of. I guess it's
Right.
not that awful.
It's like a
It's
nose
not. I
piercing.
can take it out when I want to. It's not a piercing. It's just
Yeah,
like,
right.
yeah. It's like I put it in my mouth, but it's not.
It's like a pacifier.
So I have like a little horn now. It's a saber tooth.
Right. So she closes her eyes and, puts her hands over your eyes. And, Jack, I imagine this is uncomfortably reminiscent of the, like, cave paintings.
Sure.
The whole eyes and hands thing. That is coincidental, but it would still probably, like, unnerve you a little bit. And she says, well, yeah, it appears you have some sort of preternatural ability to see in the dark. It's not something I've seen in a human before, at least not one that's not using magic actively, and you're certainly not doing that. Huh. Again, does it hurt?
Well, no, but it's not normal.
Well, no, but if it doesn't hurt, then there's probably no problem, right?
Okay. Do you think anything else strange is gonna happen to me, Doctor?
Well, again, citing, Socratadian, magic is infinite in its potential. Given that so many strange things have happened to you in your life already, then due to the law of averages, it is unlikely that more things will happen to you. More strange things will happen to you.
Makes sense.
But, given your attire, it seems like you're also an adventurer, unless I missed my mark?
Yes, adventurer.
Right, and unusual things happen to adventurers more often than the average person, so... Again, given the law of averages, I think you're probably fine now, but it's impossible to say with any sort of certainty, is my diagnosis.
Well, I appreciate it.
Oh, certainly. That'll be 300 GP.
That's a lot.
I'm kidding. West Danica has a wonderful healthcare system.
Well, I'm very happy to hear that, because I don't even have that much money.
No, well, do come again if you experience anything strange. Just ask for a Gerba. That's me. I'll take another look at you, see if I can figure anything out.
Alright, I guess this wasn't what I was hoping for. I was hoping you'd say, you could cast some sort of a restoration spell on me and everything would be better.
Well, there's nothing to restore if you're not in pain.
What about my fucking teeth?
Well, do you still have your teeth that fell out?
Yeah, I do. It's kind of strange, but I do
Alright,
have.
I mean, I can reach into your mouth and cast mending and try to reattach them each to your gums.
I mean...
I will charge for that because I don't want to stick my hand on your mouth.
I don't think that's gonna... I mean, didn't you... I don't know. I'll just take my teeth and be on my way. Thank you very much.
Come again.
Alright, Klakkr. Thanks for waiting around for me. They weren't very helpful.
Oh, well, they can't always be.
Right, I guess. I was hoping that in this circumstance they would have been.
Well, I mean, what can you do about it? Does it hurt?
No, it doesn't hurt. It's concerning to me.
Well, if it doesn't hurt, then you shouldn't really worry about it.
People keep saying that.
I think you'll be fine. We'll see. I don't know.
I imagine Klakkr just gives him a big grin with, like, jagged, like, sharp orca teeth.
Yeah, and then I turn around and I go, I got a new horn.
Arr. Yeah, I've been admiring it on my way over here. I was like, is that a new horn?
Yeah.
That didn't hurt, did it?
Oh, no. I can take it out and I just pop it out.
Can you breathe with it in?
Yeah, do you do that by, like when you pinch your nose and pop your ears, like in cartoons type thing?
No, I just reach back and grab it, but it makes a popping sound.
Yeah. While this is all happening, Hudson, Azure walks over and says, you finding everything okay there, mate?
I be reading, very rigorously. I've been learning a lot.
I see. Is reading the only thing you do rigorously?
I drink rum rigorously. I piracy. Sailing rigorously.
Right, I also engage in sailing.
It's be
She winks.
Where do you be sailing at? Where?
Wherever the seas blow, wherever the treasure is. Have you been looking for any booty lately?
You say treasure, eh?
Hudson leans in, he's wringing his hands a little, like a cartoon character.
It's funny. Hudson's my mental image of Hudson fluctuates wildly between a 2-dimensional animation cartoon character and a very deep person with a tragic backstory.
I think that's how I view him as well.
Right. I guess you could call it treasure, yeah, right?
What treasure be you speaking of?
What treasure do you be speaking of?
Gold and jewels and perhaps magic items, that sort of treasure.
I see. Yeah, sure, I bet we could find some of that. You want to go digging in the sand to look for it?
I don't personally want to dig in the sand, but I suppose if that's what it has to take, then yes, I am down.
What do you say, you and me go looking for treasure on, at the West Bay Beach, down at the south end of the city, later this evening?
I'd be down.
Ooh.
Wonderful, I'll see you tonight.
Alright, see you then, lass.
Hudson's gonna show up with a metal detector and a shovel.
My favorite, very quick tangent. My favorite, one of my favorite text post memes is she says, "You want to go upstairs?" And he says, "Sure." And she says, "You have protection?" And he says, "Why? What's up there?"
I was I think Hudson's pretty dumb to people flirting with him.
Right. Over the afternoon, Hudson, you can find a little information about Pinger House history in general.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What you do find, and I'm, even though it's been a couple hours, I'm gonna be pretty basic with this just because of Hudson's reading ability.
I'd like to point out he doesn't have negative intelligence.
Okay, let's see.
But he does kind of have negative intelligence.
The history of Pinger House that you find in these records is very pro-West Anakin. So it talks about the wild, untapped riches of an unsettled and savage land, and how the West Anakins have come and imposed order on chaos, and how they are bringing prosperous economy and making all kinds of scientific and chemical discoveries about different gems that can be infused with different types of steampunk magic and things of that nature. It's pretty self-congratulatory for the current royal family, which is the Toldens. Currently, King Rickard Tolden is the head figure, and this is a text that does not want to tread on political toes. That may or may not be something Hudson picks up, given that's subtext, but also Hudson has a background in the negative impact of politics, so you might be aware of that.
Yeah, I think Hudson would pick up on that because he's pretty anti-establishment.
Moriarty, what was it that you were looking for?
I was looking for a while. He'll browse through the Wayfinders and see if there's any books about them being here on Pinger House, because that might explain more why she was interested in Kraz, since he was friends with the Wayfinders. And it's could be why she's here. And then after that, he's gonna go try to find out what Jigankwa is, and then research from there.
Okay, so Wayfinders, you learn in writing basically the same thing that Kraz explained a few sessions ago. They're an extraplanar order whose base is in the Astral Sea, which is an entirely different plane of existence. They were founded by a group of Gith, and gradually other races joined. They were instrumental in the rapid modernization of various nations and have been pretty disconnected with the whole world of Nera Ohan since the World Storm. The particular writer of this book observes that it's probably because they feel some sort of guilt in exacerbating the ambition of greedy nations. I think you would find this as well because of your vested interest in it. There's some discussion about how they make their star blades.
Oh.
Yeah, so the blades are powered by astral diamonds, which are harvested from the Astral Sea, and then those are embedded in hilts of bronze or metal, or bronze or gold or some other form of precious metal or semi-precious metal. And they are magical items that will work for anyone, but when a Wayfinder attunes to such a blade, then they can make it more effective than the average wielder might.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and there's a diagram of 5 different colors that coordinate to different disciplines of the Wayfinders. So gotta pull those up real quick, but I'll read them off because you would find that as well. And the color of the blade kind of changes depending on the specialization of the Wayfinder that is wielding the blade. So there's green blades for the diplomats and kind of negotiators of the Wayfinders, yellow blades for the guardians or sentinels, purple blades for the warriors and soldiers, blue blades for the wave runners or navigators, and red blades for those who forsake the peaceful mission of the Wayfinders for their own ambition.
Interesting. It's just, white when a layperson is using it, right?
Yes.
Not attuned? Okay. All right. Now I'm going to have to write all that down.
That's what I was thinking. I guess I shouldn't write that down because, I didn't learn that.
Yeah.
I'll put that in the Discord later so you have access to it. Moriarty. Yeah, I think in the interest of time, we'll say that takes much of the afternoon. If any of the 4 of you would like to do something else before reconvening with Zachariah, then speak now. Otherwise, we'll kind of...
In the monster book, do I find out what Zigantwa is? The monster humanoids?
Yeah, my bad.
Guessing
Sorry,
it's
I forgot
from
you did that
a
as
West
well.
Anakin book on sub-races, other races.
Yeah, because you spent time split among multiple topics, I will say you find out that she is a mind flayer. You don't know much about what mind flayers are other than some sort of aquatic monstrous humanoid.
All right, that's okay. But that was his goal. Was just to get some information.
Considering this is an old-timey library, is there a kind of I'm trying to think of the word, an obituary, or kind of how they have genealogies and stuff, for example?
Make an investigation check.
All right. Okay, 4. Hudson really doesn't understand libraries.
Whether there is or not, you are not aware of there being one.
Can I go ask the librarian?
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to ask her, if there's any sort of, kind of maybe more a staff held, though, kind of, I'm trying to think of the word, that's in, Jane Austen novels when it's all these books about, the nobility, and it's who gets married and who dies sort of thing.
Probably Annals.
Annals, yeah, that works, yeah. Can I ask her, what's her name?
Make sure you really pronounce that word right.
Right.
Otherwise, it'll be a very different night.
There might be some annal treasure on the beach later.
You were looking for some magical objects.
If you play your cards right, Hudson Swift.
Oh my god.
Oh boy, I'm gonna be doing some digging, alright.
Or is she?
My name's Asia, sweetie. What was your name?
Aja?
My name be Hudson. My name's Hudson.
Hudson. Yeah, so you're looking for the Annals of Stoffheld?
Aye, that'd be me.
We got some of that. Come here. And she takes you by the arm and leads you to a row of books that's pretty close to where you were looking, because it's history adjacent, and then she helps you look through it and find some. She's like, yeah, it's not going to be complete, being that we're Stanican colony and all, but there's at least something here. Can I help you find something? Who are you looking for?
I'd be looking for the Shoten family.
Shoten. Yep, here they are.
Dimitri Shoten in particular.
Dimitri Shoten. Yeah, looks like a footnote here. Again, not the most up-to-date, so there's probably something that's not included here, but it looks like he's the infant son of Lord Vladimir Shoten. But, I mean, this was taken, this was all, like, written down, oh boy, let me see here. Yeah, 32 years ago, according to the copy, so I guess that puts Dimitri Shoten in his, late 20s, early 30s, I guess.
Aye.
Early 30s would be how that works, mathematically.
Yeah. Aye, well, that don't be super up to date, but thank you very much. Do you perchance, on an unrelated note, do you have any texts on necromancy?
Oh yes, honey, this is the, library of the arcane arts. We got all kinds of stuff on all the different magics.
Mm-hmm. I guess more specifically, if I were to be looking for what happens if somebody were to take over your body after you died, perchance. Not that this would happen to me, hopefully, but
You mean like possession?
aye, something like that.
Well, I mean, I can tell you what I know. I mean, I'm a mage here. Most of the people who work here are. Necromancy is not my specialty, but I still study it.
Aye.
If a rogue spirit were to inhabit a corpse, that's different from a zombie, different from like a typical skeleton, because usually those are animated without any sort of sentience or free will.
Aye.
So I think your best bet would be to read a little bit about like it's not quite the same, but it's something like a wight or a revenant, or even a ghost. Like if a ghost were to possess a corpse so that it could feel a physical form, that could be something that might happen. I don't know, is that really helpful, or are you looking for something else?
Aye, that seems pretty helpful, especially the revenant. I'm a little more interested in that.
Yeah, certainly. I can pull some text. Those are from textbooks I've been studying for my own classes. I'll see what I can find. Some of them are restricted, but
Aye, how are the classes going, lass?
oh, pretty good. Learning something new every day, as they say. I mean, got this one professor that's just like completely unreasonable, and I'll spare the listeners, but she like goes through some of her different classes. She's like, well, we can talk more about that tonight while we're looking for treasure.
Aye, I know plenty about education myself, and classes, and professors.
Oh, I can tell, Dia. And she like pats your cheek.
All right. Yeah, if I could read some of that and something similar to Zachariah's situation, Hudson would be very interested.
Yeah, you can read that for the remainder of the afternoon. You don't get a whole lot. Like, it's not something that's very well documented, but you can learn a little bit more about wights, revenants, and ghosts all. I'll put some of that information in the chat or Discord later, or you can just look it up. Like, basic text that you would find in the 5e Monster Manual is kind of the stuff that you find in the library.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
All right, it is early evening at this point. Zachariah is leaving Crackle's information repository. The four of you are presumably leaving the fungal crags. What would each of you like to do at this point? Do you want to reconvene or do something else?
Hudson's got to reconvene before his treasure hunt tonight.
Well, I'm getting kind of hungry.
I would probably head to the Arcathian. Is that the right pronunciation?
Yes, the Arcathian.
And I would have intentionally not have told anyone I was doing that, I think.
Okay. I'm gonna have you make a straight D20 roll, Zachariah, and on a roll of 1, 2, or 3, you intersect with the party on your way there, because the path you would take... you rolled a 2. You run into the party around the time they're leaving the fungal crags.
Oh, hello. How was the fun time, crabs?
Oh, hey there. How you doing? I got a horn.
Awesome.
Well, that's an interesting horn.
What'd you find out about magical disturbances in the city?
Oh, that's what we were supposed to be asking about. See, they actually just go to a big library, and I was just doing my own research in there.
Oh, I thought there were like mages in there and magical people.
I think there are.
I met one of them.
But you see, there was a librarian. She asked me what we were looking for, and I was like, "Oh, that
that's
information
fine.
on these subjects," and we just read about them. No, we could go back.
Hudson talked to one of the mages, so any magical disturbances?
I'm meeting with the mage later this evening. I'll check in with her and see what I can discern.
Okay, interesting.
She'll be giving me some top secret information.
Oh, wow. Okay, sounds like we made some progress, and you did what we set out to do, visiting this place, and I can just move on.
I'd be doing me duty, and not at all suspecting things about ye.
What?
What?
The Raven.
Anyway, what did everyone else discover?
Well, I found out that the lady that we're hunting down is a mind flayer.
Yes?
Well, I didn't know before. I just looked it up. Oh, not a whole lot. I was also reading up on the Wayfinders.
And what'd you discover about them?
That a white blade isn't much. The white isn't special. It has other colors. That means it has a special purpose. But that's all I really got.
I trust you completely. I think I'm just gonna go in real quick and just ask if there have been any magical disturbances. I'm assuming that you did ask that, but I'm just gonna go real quick.
But I'll be finding out later.
I believe you.
I feel like you don't believe me.
I do. I just want to ask also.
Maybe not ask as yours. She might not know.
Well, then go ahead and ask.
Okay, I'll be right back. Or you can come with me. Why don't you just head back to the lake floor, and I'll meet you there later.
So you don't forget where we're actually staying. It is known as the riverbed.
Yeah, that's what I said.
No, it's really not what you just said.
All right, well, I will see you back there.
At where? Did you say lake floor?
Huh, the riverbed. That's what I said.
And when you walk in, Zachariah, it's a different receptionist. The water genasi that everyone else met is packing her stuff up and heading away from the desk, and an elderly blue whale folk has taken the seat behind the desk.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Pleasure. Absolute pleasure. I love your color.
Thank you. What can I help you with something?
I'm just so pleased to be speaking to someone with some wisdom for once.
You are a perceptive man.
So I'm new to town. My weatherman and I are seeking, specifically seeking some, I'd call them transmutative disturbances, particularly creatures, summoning creatures, modifying creatures. I don't know if it's happened here, but this is where the trail has led us. And who would I speak to about someone, let's just say misusing magic?
Misusing magic. We do our very best to tamp down on any of that in the city.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I, as a senior mage of this magistrate, and as a representative of the Parliamentary Council, it is in my very vested interest to be sure there is none of that. Aside from the tragic immolation of the town god headquarters, I'm unaware of any deviant use of magic in recent days, at least within this city.
Got it. Okay. Well, do you have anyone... This is an interesting question. Do you practice... I know the legality of this can be iffy depending on where you're at. Does anyone practice any divination magic here, or scrying, or locating people, locating objects, anything like that?
Yes, but it's not a service that we provide publicly. For ethical reasons, I'm sure you can understand.
Oh, yeah, right, certainly. There's probably people in town who do that kind of thing unethically, right?
I certainly hope not.
Right, but we both know that where they're at and wouldn't ever want to work with those people.
Unaware of anyone doing such unethical scrying.
Same. Big same. All right, well, I'll probably be back, but I do appreciate if any interest in a traveling scholar such as myself, practiced in some different religious and arcane practices. If anyone were to need help from me or services from me or anything to that effect, my name is Zachariah Harros, and I am staying at the riverbed. If there were any of these strange transmutative magics, would there be any way to get like a note? Just between you and I, right? Friends, colleagues, as we are.
I'm sorry, I Nathan am confused. Are you asking for...
I'm trying to like friend up with her and see if she'd like give me a heads up if something happened.
Okay, this receptionist is a he.
Oh, he...
Zachariah would never know.
Right.
I didn't see your whale dick.
To be fair, he couldn't tell the gender of his raven, so...
It's a great point.
So when you say, like, get a note, are you basically asking for
like the heads up, the scanny.
For him to send you one, or for you to send him one?
For him to do a favor for a traveling scholar such as myself and give me a heads up if that kind of stuff starts happening.
Got it.
Surely he traveled the lands learning at one point.
Lands and seas both. Yes, I will be in touch if I become aware of any such abnormal sort of experimentation with magic, as it were.
Absolutely. And if I find those people doing that silly divination magic on the street, I will set them straight.
Legally, of course.
Oh, you know what I mean.
He winks slowly at you.
And then, I would head to the Arcathium.
Sure.
Am I saying that right?
Yes.
You're not going to tell him, oh, sorry, I'm a eunuch, after he winks.
It's not that I'm just not interested.
I'm sorry, I'm being a dick.
I'm looking for a nice, dead girl.
So, the Arcathian, it's like sunset. It's a little bit past sunset by the time you leave the Fungal Crags and find your way to the Arcathian. There is the double doors leading into the Arcathian are
The Dumbledores?
locked in double doors.
No.
Hello, Dumbledore.
They are locked, but there's a window, like you would find at like will call ticket stand type thing, that is open nearby the doors, and there's an elderly human lady with a hooked nose who is like sitting behind the desk.
Hello.
I don't sell tickets for Rickard's Rump.
Neither do I.
She blinks, and then she gives a quick,
Never heard that one before, that's funny. Now you wanna rent the space, you fill out one of these forms,
and she pushes it to you.
you looking for an event, they're listed on the notice board over there.
I think I'm in the wrong place. I thought this was where I would come to speak to nobility, West Anakin nobility.
Only when banquets are scheduled. I have the schedule in the back room. You want to wait for me to go get it? I guess I'll go get it for you. But if you want something else, I won't go get it for you.
I will wait. Oh, I don't mean to stress you out. Would you like me to get it?
No, you're not allowed in here after hours.
She hobbles her way into the back, and after what feels to Zachariah like an eternity, she comes back and flips through the schedule.
Next banquet's in 3 nights, looks like. No meals, just horse derbies and drinks.
Hors d'oeuvres.
That's what I said.
I think I love you.
I just happened to say something.
That was perfect timing.
It was. Moriarty just typed in the chat, she sounds like a good pick for his dead girl in a few years.
Yes, I think I love you.
Right.
That was simultaneous. That was incredible.
I love it.
Yeah, she blinks and she says, drinks are paid only. It's not an open bar, but yeah, three nights from now, be an open town hall.
Shoten event? Paid bar, no food.
Reception is here. People can go into the town hall and speak with the nobles in parliament as well for an open session with amenities here afterwards. Put your name here if you want to make sure you reserve a spot.
Oh, no, thank you. Is there anything Can I take a look at that?
What, am my calendar here?
Yes.
Sure, why not? Here you go.
If you have it online somewhere, I could just go check it. Can I just quickly skim it and see if I recognize any of the names of, like, potential events being held in the future?
You,
Sugchiganku's definitely not evil.
right, the Zugchiganku Love Rally. No, so there's an open, like, parliamentary thing 3 nights from now. Tomorrow night, there is a closed, like, private event for members only for a club. It's
what club? Treasure hunting club?
Alcoholics Anonymous.
Oh, boring.
Well, you do have the perfect end for that one.
Right. The night after the Parliament, so 4 nights from now, 4 evenings from now, there is another club event. This one is open for anyone who is interested, and it's labeled as a Pride Rally.
Anything specifically noble-y?
Aside from the open parliamentary banquet, no.
Okay. I really... You've been wonderful. I've had so much trouble in this city. People are difficult, you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, yes.
Right? So, I just... I'm in town, briefly. I'm just a distant friend of a friend, and I'm... Are there any Shotens in town that you know of?
No. Is that a kind of boat?
Yes. I was curious if there were any Shoten boats.
Not that I'm aware of, but I don't keep the harbors. You can talk to, what's his name? Sonian? If you want to know about the boat records, he's in the dock fort, which is the fort that overlooks the dock.
Alright. That makes sense. Well, hey, you take care of yourself.
I always do.
And she pulls out a pack of Pincher house limbs and starts smoking one.
You really shouldn't. I mean, hey, you know what? One life. Do what you want to do.
I always have, and I always will.
Honestly, how better to live, right? You should always live life to the fullest, whatever brings you joy. I'm gonna go. This was nice. What was your name?
Tabby.
Tabby. Beautiful name. Okay. I will head back to the riverbed.
All right. And the rest of you, did you go straight back to the riverbed, or is there anything else you wanted to do on the way?
I think along the way back, if there's any like stalls for just picking up dry rations, Moriarty will stop as they go.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. You can just detract the gold and add the 10 days of rations or whatever. As you're nearing the riverbed, before Zachariah has rejoined you, you hear a voice coming from one of the alleyways.
Hey, psst, over here.
Is this me or is this them?
No, this is them.
Oh, hey there.
Oh, hey there.
And then a halfling waddles out.
My name's Lelton.
Well, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. You want some deathweed?
So, now, can you say that one more time?
You want some deathweed? I got some deathweed for you. It'll get the job done real fast.
Deathweed? Is that seaweed?
Yeah, it's a good strong strain. Not that stuff that ID serves. That stuff won't do the trick.
Well, now see, that name is really interesting. Deathweed. Oh, well, I know. Hey, Moriarty, weren't you looking for some seaweed?
I got some seaweed. I just needed some nice mild seaweed to get the job done.
He's got
You
deathweed.
said you were looking for some good stuff. Some of the strong stuff is what you said earlier.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, well, how much deathweed? How much do you charge for it?
The first one's free.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that before.
Can I ask if there's anything else in the deathweed? I mean, good to ask. Like allergies and whatnot.
Right.
Oh, yeah, sure. There's nicotine, and there's CBD, and there's THC, and there's ABC. Don't worry about that last one. It's one of my special ingredients. Yeah.
Then.
First one's free. 10 gold pieces a puff after that.
So how to get the name Deathweed?
After you smoke it one time, you'll see. It doesn't actually kill you. That's not what it is. Don't worry about that.
Hudson, is like, alright, I'll try it, mate. Doesn't kill you, it's free. I'll try anything once.
Right.
Any of you who want a free deathweed can have one. Otherwise, it is 10 gold pieces per stick after that.
No, I'm all right.
Hudson's definitely gonna take it. And you know what? Yeah, Hudson's gonna take it and he's gonna buy a second one.
You know what?
Nice.
Yeah, I'll take one, but I'm gonna save it for later.
Okay. All right, so Hudson, just make a note of how many you bought and subtract 10 gold pieces for each
Oh,
one.
no, yeah.
Hudson has no money anymore.
Well, we got 100, right?
110.
110? Yeah, I had like
Right.
8 gold pieces, so now I'm down to 107. Feel pretty okay with that amount for now. Hudson's also not the brightest with his money, but you know.
Yeah.
That's why when you guys were like 100 gold, I'm like, it'll be gone by the end of the day.
Shopping session. Yeah, okay, you can all reconvene at the riverbed at this point.
Well, that was a wildly unfruitful day. We are no closer whatsoever to our goals.
Maybe there might be some information at the Elf's Wisdom or something. We can check there tomorrow.
The what?
Isn't there a place I thought I saw in a map called the Elf's Wisdom?
Yeah, that's up in the Glitzcliff district.
That sounds pretty wise to me to go there.
Hudson, don't you have a secret meeting with someone who might know something also?
I very strategic planning. I don't yield a lot of information, methinks.
Is the Gith back here?
Yes, he is. Kinawan is back here.
I'd say I might recommend you might do a little freshen up a little bit before your secret meeting.
I want to make a good impression on the assets, as it were.
Oh, the assets, yes.
I did not think of that.
As Moriarty's the only one really with an inkling what's going on, he's laughing himself, he's chuckling to himself.
Hudson thinks he's being really clever and yeah, he looks really smart in front of everyone and cunning, I think. Yeah. So he goes upstairs to maybe, change his shirt and splash some water on his face, and that's about it.
And then, yeah, Kinawan is smoking his pipe over in the corner. You guys can talk to him. The Rock Lobsters are also performing again, so if you want another night of, insane revelry, you can do that. Their performance is not as stellar as it was last night because they are all sleep-deprived and slightly hungover as well. But people are having a good time. Hudson, you could talk with Kinawan, or you could just head down to the beach to make your rendezvous.
I'll say hi to Kinawan first.
I don't think you actually met him last night, so he'll introduce himself to the rest of the party, the three of you that he didn't meet last time.
Kinawan, I hope you had a better day than we did. These are my colleagues. This is Hudson. Chudson? Is it Chudson now?
Aye, it's Mudson. Yes,
Mudson.
Aye, Mudson.
This is Mudson Swallow. And, I can't remember who was here with me. Did you meet Jack?
Yes, I met Jack. It's good to see you again. And, the Orca folk and, Moriarty, I'm assuming you have your fishing pole with you, so he'd identify you as a fisherman.
Yes.
Pleasure to meet you both. I'm Kinawan.
Oh, hey there, how you doing?
Quite well, thank you. You said your day was not very fruitful, Zachariah?
It was fucking terrible. No closer whatsoever to our goals. How was yours?
I found something that was a little bit concerning to me. Concerning in the kind of way that means I might have a clue, possibly.
That's something.
I spoke with the lady down at at Old Fred's fishery, fishing supplies, tackle, and whatnot. Her name, funnily enough, I thought, was Winifred, and her husband, Fred, has been waylaid under the weather, and has not been out in public in quite some days. Winifred is rather worried about him. She's actually been sleeping in the shop because he's been acting very erratic, which is quite tragic for her. I mean, they've had a happy and loving marriage for many years. They're both up there in age. I really feel bad for them. I'm not sure what's gotten into him.
Yeah.
But because there was so swift of a switch, as it were, hearing her describe this, it made me think perhaps some sort of magical tampering has happened to his mind.
Oh, well, that's interesting. The only thing I know about my target is they are one that would tamper with the mind, so to speak. Maybe we can follow this lead together.
I think that's quite a good idea.
Maybe this is forward of me to ask. As I know this is a storied past and not necessarily everyone's lived experience currently, but I know that in ancient history, the Gith and mind flayers were opposed, right?
Yes. Very ancient history indeed. It's before the written records of Narohan itself. But yes, you're quite right.
So none of that, you don't carry any of that baggage with you, is what you're saying?
That is not what I was saying. I was saying it was a very long time ago, but
sure.
Time and again, I
guess I'm not sure how to ask this. We're looking for a mind flayer.
Indeed.
And that wasn't a question, it was a statement. Does that mean anything to you?
Quite.
Do we need to take this somewhere more private?
I believe that would be prudent. Assuming that you don't mean that as any sort of innuendo. I don't swing that way.
No, he's, so to speak, there's no moisture down there right now.
I don't have genitals.
I didn't need to know that, but okay.
I'm just assuring you. We'll all go together. We're all going to go to our room together, privately, and you can tell me what that means to you.
Well, orgies are not my scene.
Jesus, why is this episode so horny?
It has been a horny episode.
Title of it is Klakkr's New Horn.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's just so good.
I'm sorry, Zachariah. This settlement has done that to you. It feels like everyone I talk to is hitting on me in some way or another. Like, this entire town feels pretty horny.
Maybe they just all need to do it. Do the things that mortals do with each other's genitals. I've read about it in books, and I've heard that if you don't do it, it can be quite frustrating.
Oh,
God. You could be right. Maybe they're all just, I don't know. I don't know what their problem is, but anyway, yes, we can go talk and,
Maybe they're pent-gerhowed up.
Indeed.
That was horrific.
I think it was brilliant. Okay, so we go have an orgy, and then after the pillow talk...
Without me, mate.
No,
well,
but yeah.
Hudson, do you want to participate in the discussion with him, or do you want to take your leave at this point?
Hudson definitely takes his leave. He doesn't want to be too late, but he's definitely be a little bit late, fashionably so.
Okay. We'll go to Hudson at the very end, but we'll go ahead and do a quick conversation with Kinawan as well. So there are dogs barking in the alley as he leads your way up the up the stairs. Your room or mine? And again, no innuendo in that.
It's weird that we have to say that so much, but
I know this town is just
I mean, nothing, no judgment at all. Let's just do ours, if that's okay.
All right. So you all go into your hostel room, and again, it's like hostel setup, but because there's only like 6 beds in it, you guys are just kind of taking the whole place. So
sure. And then I would just kind of like, so again, we're looking for a mind flayer, and I just know that there's a storied history between your ancestors and the mind flayers, and what does that mean to you? What is that why you're here too?
He spreads his hands and casts a spell around the room. He says, "We can talk completely freely now. I am also looking for a mind flayer. I am not sure of her name, but I believe that it is a she from what I've observed. Someone who is performing some sort of fell-like ritual or spell on the local fauna and corrupting them."
Ah, so you are looking for Zug-Zug.
Zug-Zug, is that her name?
Oh, I mean, it's just easier for me to say that.
Zug-Jagonku.
Zug-Jagonku, interesting. I like Zug-Zug.
See, I thought it was a little teaser, isn't it?
It is, you're right, yes. Yes, so I'm looking for Zug-Zug as well. As with you, the only lead that I have that has the possibility of any real fruit is Old Fred and his wife Winifred. Other than that, it was just a lot of kind of trying to figure out if people were actually hitting on me or not.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I guess, I understand what she does, but why are you seeking her?
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb and trust you all, even though I've known you all less than 2 days.
I mean, I gave you the name. We're exchange of information.
Right. So he, he's wearing layered, cloth robes, kind of like a martial artist getup. He's wearing that under a hooded, robe. And so he takes off his outer hooded robe, while leaving all of his, martial arts get up.
Wow.
But leaving all of his martial arts get up on. And as he does so, you see that he has a sword hilt hanging at his belt. And he picks it up and says a command word, and it blazes into golden, radiant yellow light. And he says, I am one of the Wayfinders.
Hold on, I know this. I saw that you're, oh shit, what kind was it? Never mind, I don't know it.
It was a guardian.
Wait, I know it again. You're a guardian, aren't you?
Very good, Moriarty. I'm assuming you introduced yourself at this point.
Yes, if you didn't know, the name is Moriarty.
Yes, Moriarty. I am a guardian Wayfinder. And he deactivates his Starblade, and he says, I've been assigned to hunt down this aberrant monster, Zug, as you've been calling her, because of the reports I've been getting from an old friend of the Wayfinders, a necromancer named Kraz.
Oh,
we know Kraz.
Oh, excellent. Lovely fellow.
Moriarty beat the shit out of him.
That wasn't very nice.
yeah, he was trying to murder us at the time.
Yeah, we had to bring him back to his senses.
Yeah, I beat him until his senses came back.
Zugjaganku had him fucked up.
That makes sense. Then we lost contact with him quite some time ago and feared the worst, so I assume he's alive and well now?
He's alive and better. well, his relative, I mean, he's not back at 100% yet.
Well, I'm glad he's on the mend. We have a lot of mutual friends. I'd like to meet him myself one day. Anyway, yes, I am happy to join forces and hunt down Zug together.
Well, excellent. I suppose tomorrow we'll go speak to this man who is not himself.
The impression I got from Winifred is that he is at his worst during the night. So speaking to him during the daytime might be better, at least at first, but it's also possible that we won't really get very far with him during the day if he's not exhibiting as much of his strange behavior.
Interesting. Does that line up with... Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's speak with him tomorrow, and then maybe we can follow him.
Indeed.
Clandestinely into the night. I'm quite sneaky. I'm not that sneaky. I lied. I'm sorry. You trusted me and I lied to you.
That's all right, Zachariah. Sometimes we speak without thinking.
I'm so sorry. Okay, well, let's get back to it. I suppose I appreciate your trust, and we'll make it with your well.
Wonderful.
No, quick question. So, the horny people around the town, do you think that it's our influence and should people be worried about any of our friends if
Oh my god!
a horny person so happens to come onto one of them?
Is Zugjaganku making everyone horny?
I'm not quite...
We have to get Hudson! I run out the door.
Well, that was actually the point I was trying to question, is if we should go after our friend.
Yeah, so Kinawan starts to respond, but then you're like bolting toward the door, and so he doesn't get a chance to.
So after he leaves, I'm gonna be like, so do you think they're connected, or should I just let Hudson have his fun for the night?
Oh, I have no idea. I mean, I have observed that larger cities tend to be hornier than smaller ones.
Oh, well, this is gonna be one hell of a story. You'll want to hear it later.
Are we going to go after Zachariah, or should we just...
Only if we want to watch.
Well, what say you all?
I mean, I guess I'll go with him and we can go watch it just to see this.
We can go check, yeah, I suppose. Just to make sure he's safe.
So Hudson is almost to the beach. Zachariah is running to catch up with him. And then the rest of you are following at like a normal pace.
I'd like to say I want to walk in at a really weird time, and we have canonically established Zachariah is terrible with directions, so I do get lost a couple times on my way there.
Sure.
Of course, classic.
So, is the rest of the party following Zachariah, or following where they know Hudson is going? Because that might mean they actually get there first.
I do not plan on intruding at all. Just it's like waiting for an incident to happen. If things happen that we need to leave, then we'll just back away until we hear Zachariah enter the scene, because it will be dramatic.
Okay, sounds good. So, Hudson will still arrive a few minutes before everyone else. So, here we go. Hudson, you come to the beach. Actually, I'm going to take you to the overview map and show you, like, exactly which beach. So there's the, like, main dock beach up here, and then she asked you to meet down at the West Bay District Beach, which is down in this little cove. All right, so you arrive there a little past, significantly past sunset, actually, so it's more like dusk. And she's waiting there. You notice immediately she does not have a shovel or any other form of digging for treasure, like equipment to dig for treasure. Rather, she is waiting in like an elegant dress. It's simple. It's an off-white with like a V-neck, not an indecent V-neck, just like a stylized one. Sleeveless, but she's got kind of a cardigan on over that. And she's done her hair up nicely. Hello, Hudson. It's good to see you there. Ready to... go ahead. Gentleman leads.
The reality of the situation would like dawn on Hudson finally. Like he'd be like, the nice dress, the no shovel, and then he'd be like a light bulb on. He'd be like, oh! And then he'd start getting nervous, and so he would like grab another like flask, but this time I think it would be like maybe like behind his back or something, like it'd be like a bigger flask. He'd be like, one moment, and then he would like duck behind a tree and just take a big swig and then like recap it and then put it back and be like, so where were we last?
I'm rather waiting to find out. You wanted to find some booty, as it were?
I suppose I did, and you can supply that.
Certainly. I think it's, I think last I heard there was some over behind these rocks over here on this side of the beach.
Oh, perfect. Then let's go over there. Do you like rum by chance?
I certainly do.
Perfect.
And then Hudson, I think, would like produce somehow like just like a normal bottle of rum, like not a flask or anything. He just has like a normal bottle, and he's like,
here you are then.
Oh, thank you, mate. She takes the swig and hands it back. Yeah, so right around these rocks here, let's see, do you see anything down there? And she kind of gestures behind some large, like, ocean, like, coastal rocks.
No, I don't. Do you see anything?
Well, let's go look, huh? And she, like, takes your arm and starts leading you down into the little, shelter. And as you round the rocks, two enormous shark folk step out.
Yep.
There he is, Hudson Swift.
Blood and thunder, mate. I knew I shouldn't have trusted this situation. It was too good to be true.
This has been the Kaleidosphere, To Whom the Sea Belongs. Thank you for joining us on this epic voyage. If you enjoyed this, then please like, share, subscribe, and leave a hopefully 5-star review, as well as a quick written review. We love any method of spreading awareness. Word of mouth is also great. It always helps us out a ton, however you choose to do that. We would love to hear from you, so please go to Linktree/the Kaleidosphere to find links to our Discord, our Twitter, and our email, and pop onto our Discord and let us know what you think, and whether I should go easy on Hudson or not. Hint, I will not. This campaign is dedicated to Brandon, who we hold in loving memory. To Whom the Sea Belongs is a campaign set in the Kaleidosphere. That's kale, like the vegetable, Ido, I-D-O, sphere. Join us next week as we find Hudson's fate.
Good luck, buddy.
I'm coming! I'm coming! Protect your brain!
So is it still a date then?